When we adopted these guidelines last year, we did say that this is a living document which can be enriched from time to time as there are new developments. So it's not cast in stone. And we realize that in the past weeks there has been debates in the public arena about members of the ANC who had stepped aside but accepting to be nominated or accepting nomination. So the NEC had to re-look at that issue again. After a debate in the NEC, we then agreed that when a member has stepped aside voluntarily, he or she should not make himself or herself available to be elected in positions. And this could be in a BEC, in an REC, PEC, or even in the NEC. So the decision was taken just to close that gap, because comrades would say, look, well, the document doesn't say we shouldn't accept. So now we've made it explicit that if you want to step aside, you shouldn't accept nomination to any position. We will make this document available to yourself so that you can go through it if you don't have it already. And the reason why the NEC took this position previously, or when this document was adopted, was to ensure that members and leaders of the ANC should be beyond reproach, and that we should protect the integrity of the organization. And at all times, if there are allegations against any leader of the ANC, if you are charged, you appear in a court of law for corruption or serious crime, you should voluntarily step aside. In an event where comrades don't step aside, the organizations can then invoke Rule 20.7 in the Constitution to deal with that matter. In other words, you then get suspended if you don't step down voluntarily. But let me also add that one of the things that, or one of the provisions we made in the document was that because this is a living document and conditions always change, that the NEC, in fact, let me start from the bottom, the REC, the PEC, or the NEC can review a position of somebody who has stepped aside. But that will only be done in a period of at least once a year. And this is already in the document, that at least once a year there will be a review of somebody who steps aside. But also, we then included in the document that as a member who has stepped aside, you have the right to approach the organization to ask for it to review your case. And that is not subject to 1 year. It's from time to time, if a member comes and says, there are development in my case, I want to review my position, having stepped aside, that is allowed in the document. And you will see in the document that we have made available to you that it is already included. Such a review will only take place at the level where the member is affected. So if this is a member of the PEC, such a review will happen at the provincial level. If you are a member of the NEC, it will happen at the national level. However, the NEC as the body that oversees the work of the ANC in between conferences is the ultimate body that makes all this decision in case there are appeals and so on. So that's what we dealt with on step aside. We are not done with step aside. What we have agreed is that having made this provision that I've just talked about, that people who have stepped aside should not make themselves available, the NEC also felt that the officials of the ANC, the top 6, should continue to look at the document and see if there are other areas that will need improvement, and we will be doing so.